Hey, hello. Welcome to episode number 42 of the People We Love podcast. I am Adam Choi. What's up? So this week something that I love is honey. It's sweet. It's natural. I use it on salads, on chicken, on all kinds of stuff. And I hear these bees are kind of endangered. So if I see any of you messing with bees, I'll cut you. Anyway, if you're new here, this podcast is called People We Love. And what I do is interview people from all walks of life about their lives and careers, but I also ask them to highlight one person who inspired or influenced them. The conversations are casual, and living here in Los Angeles, I often interview people who work in the entertainment business, especially comedians. But I've also interviewed an ex-con, my grandma, and a former major league pitcher. So it really is all walks of life. But for more, check out peoplewelovepodcast.com. That's peoplewelovepodcast.com. And the Instagram handle is peoplewelovepodcast. And it's true, I made a personal Instagram for myself as well. That's just Adam Choit, ADAMCHOIT, my name, if you want to follow me as well. And remember to tap subscribe or follow on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. And of course, 5-star positive reviews on iTunes are greatly appreciated as well. So, today's guest is YouTuber, live streamer, and actress Sonia Elsie. Sonia regularly churns out awesome content about veganism, beauty, and popular culture. And she also has a vlog and an ASMR channel. We'll get into that. It's really cool how Sonia shares her life with so many people, and I think it's cool that she took the time to tell me all about her journey and share with me who and what inspires her. And one particular person who has inspired Sonia Elsie is actress, filmmaker, singer, musician, author, comedian, and YouTuber herself, the super talented Anna Akana. So let's just get into it. Here's Sonia Elsie. So it's good to see you today, Sonia Elsie.
It's good to see you.
Thank you for dropping by the studio.
Thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be
here. Oh, yeah,
here.
I appreciate it. So how's your day going?
It's going good. I'm a little tired, but, had work today and then came here. So
what's work?
Well, I do a few things for work. So
you wouldn't, it wouldn't be a few things. You wouldn't live in LA if you didn't do a few things.
Right. Like, I feel like everybody is working all the time and has at least like a few side hustles, if not just like a bunch of things together. But okay, I guess the main thing I do is I have a YouTube channel. So I post videos weekly on a few different channels. Well, the other channels I'm not as consistent on as my main channel, but...
What did you work on today?
Today?
Because we'll get into all the channels.
Yes. Okay. Today I was doing some background work on the set for a show. I'm not allowed to say, but...
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. And that's something I do kind of for extra income. And it's just cool to experience the set and see what goes on. And yeah.
Do you meet a lot of people doing background work?
I do. I meet a lot of really cool people. I've made a lot of friends that way.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's kind of what I heard from another past guest, Joshua Mesnick, who was on here. He was telling me, he just started doing background work instead of going for every, principal role. He's like, you know what, I'm going to go for back work. I'm going to change my mindset. And that's really started to open up doors for him. And he started to, meet a lot of people. And that seems like a great way to just get out there.
Yeah.
Cool. So why don't we get into it? Why don't you tell me your life story and we could start from, the hospital and on the drive home. If you weren't born in the hospital, that's okay.
I was, in fact, born in a hospital. So the story of how I was born was actually pretty funny. So I was born, I think, if I'm not wrong, about 3 weeks early. And my mom, the night before I was born, she was really craving a pizza. And so she ate a whole entire, Pizza Hut medium-sized pizza, which is pretty good size.
Was this like a pregnancy craving, or was this just like...
I mean, yeah.
It's hard to know.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then I was born the next day, 3 weeks early. So I'd say it's pretty good.
Can indigestion can induce pregnancy? Is that a thing?
I am not sure. I don't know. There was never really an explanation of that, but I just remember it was like a funny story that my mom and my dad would always tell
What
me.
about gas? I wonder if that could induce, something.
I think maybe it could, yeah.
Things pushing down there.
Maybe the
Science.
Pizza, pushed me out.
Yeah.
It says a lot about me.
Yeah. And then where do we go from there? You got home from the hospital?
And
you launched your YouTube channel?
I don't remember much until I was About two. I grew up in a city called Bellingham, Washington, and it's not a huge city. I wouldn't say it's necessarily super small. It's about 80,000 people, I think.
And is that on the east of the state, or is that by the ocean, like Seattle?
It's by the more in the Pacific Northwest. So
it is by Seattle.
Yeah, it's
okay.
2 hours north of Seattle, and it's in between Vancouver and Seattle.
Gotcha.
So I lived. Bellingham has a bay, and we were literally a 10-minute drive to the water, and it was just such a beautiful place to grow up. But it was very cold, very rainy a lot of the year. But yeah, I think it was a good place to grow up. I'm glad I lived there.
You have siblings?
I do. I have one brother. He's younger brother by 2 years, and yeah, he's awesome. He's very creative. He's really into photography, and just recently on his Instagram, he's been like experimenting with wearing different makeup looks and doing lighting and stuff. So I'm really proud of him. And when I see the creative side, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that.
That's cool. Why don't you tell me more about like when you were young, you're like real young, like 4, 5, 6 years old, elementary school. Like, what do you remember? What do you remember from those times?
When I was really young, I remember I was always really shy, and I was also always a rule follower. Like, I was never one that would disobey my parents or a teacher or anything. And even I remember like a traumatizing experience was one time I was accused of like stealing a pencil, and I didn't do it. And I was just like, how could I be accused of breaking this rule? Like, I would never do that. But I remember I was always really artsy as well. I loved reading books. I would read just every week at least a few books. And there was this program called the AR Point program, and I was just such a nerd. I was trying to get the highest score ever.
What does that mean?
So it's basically, I think it was like a quizzing program. So you would read a book, and each book would be worth a certain amount of points based on how high you would score on how well you know the book.
I see. Some kind of like a reading comprehension kind of thing.
Yes. So I'm honestly really thankful for that, because I think because I became so competitive with that, I just started reading more, and I became like, now I have no problem with spelling or with reading or anything, and it helped me a lot growing up. So yeah, I just remember I was kind of a nerd.
Were you, when you say competitive, was it more like because you get like points or rewards for reading each book and getting showing off your reading comprehension ability with these quizzes, or was it like you wanted to be better at this than the other kids in the class? Was it both of those things? Were you competing against yourself, just trying to get a higher score, or was it to be better than the other kids?
I think it was a little bit of everything. There was this crazy record of, I think, 800 points overall, which was quite a bit, and I just wanted to, like, there was no prize or anything. I just wanted to see that I could do it.
Yeah.
And I think.
And this is elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
This is like kind of like a video game mentality, almost like you're trying to get the highest amount of the
I guess
score.
so, yeah, with books, which I think is really funny. But yeah, I remember I had a pretty good childhood. My family was just awesome.
What about other subjects? Were you, besides reading English, were you good at other subjects? You were a good student? No.
Writing. I loved writing, and I still do really enjoy writing poetry, but I remember I would write these crazy, like, just creative stories. If the teacher gave us a creative prompt, I would just like go nuts and write a 10-page story when they only asked for like 2 or 3 pages. I just loved it so much.
And how did they react to that?
They encouraged it, actually, which was nice. Yeah. They always encouraged me. I remember my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Deerdorf, she always, she would say, just keep writing. Like, you have this talent, you should continue. And I think in elementary school, I really wanted to be an author when I grew up. So yeah, that was cool. And
what about after elementary school, in your adolescent, middle-aged years? Those are always the most fun, right? When, preteen, those are always the best times, right?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, the best times.
Not for me.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty glad to be out of school now.
Me too.
Just so glad to have my own life and do whatever.
Yeah, I didn't like middle school or junior high, whatever you want to call it, because you're not an adult. but you're not like an elementary school. Like you have to stand in line, but it's like I'm a little old to be standing in this line, or whatever. These other kids.
Yeah,
it's annoying. Elementary school's okay. You're really young. High school's okay. You're like an adult. You can have adult conversations and start to do more adult things. But it's that middle school.
Middle school is just incredibly awkward also because everybody's kind of like going through puberty and like just growing, and then you're just like, what's going on?
Yeah. No, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't miss any of it.
Oh no. But in middle school is when I started getting more into sports, I guess. I did cross country and also track.
Why run so much?
I'm not sure. I think another thing was just seeing that I could do it. I remember my dad one time was like, hey, do you want to go? I think in 6th grade, he was like, do you want to go on a run with me? And I was like, I mean, sure, that sounds terrible, but sure. And I remember at that point, in PE, I couldn't even do the 1/4 mile run. Like I would have to walk that. And so he was like, let's just do this and it'll be fun. So we ran a 1/4 mile. I could barely do it, and then
that's once around the track.
Yep. Just one lap.
Yeah.
And so I started improving just so quickly. And I was like, whoa, this is legit. And then my dad was like, you should join the cross country team. So I was like, okay, gives me something to do, I guess. And yeah, I carried that out until high school when I started, doing Running Start, not actually running, but which was a program where you take community college classes in high school. So had more on my plate then.
Did you end up taking community college classes because you were like advanced or ambitious or what was it?
I wanted to get out of high school and also of my city.
It was the community college, like it was like a place you commuted to, or like was like an alternative place to go?
No, I just was like, okay, the faster I can finish, because I basically just finished community college mainly because my dad had wanted me to. I was like, I can move out of my hometown. I can do something bigger. So I just wanted to finish that school stuff up as quickly as I could and get out.
So it was a 2-year community college, but you kind of started getting credits during high school.
Yeah, I started my junior year and then I ended up having to stay like a few extra quarters after I graduated just because there were a few classes I had to complete. But.
You're talking about for community college while you're in high school? Okay.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
Where did we go from there, from high school, community college? What happens from there? Are you already YouTubing at this point and whatnot?
I started YouTubing my junior year of high school when I was 17.
Which is not that long ago.
It feels like a long time ago for me. But yeah, I really wish I could just go back in time and just tell myself to not be so angry on the internet, because when I first started, it was kind of when I first started just becoming upset about the world and how
I was the same way. Not when I first got on the internet, but like for a period of time on it, for sure.
Yeah. And I just started, it was when I first started experiencing like not a lot of attention, but inappropriate attention from guys.
Yeah.
And I would just, instead of just, venting to my friends, I would just go on YouTube or Twitter and just be like, just venting all of this crazy stuff. And I'm like, just really don't do that. But
why not though? If you're being wronged and people are not treating you well and you want to highlight something, is it just that it's just so much negativity? You're putting spotlight on people that don't deserve it? Is that what it is? Yeah,
I think so. And I think I was also immature about a lot of things. Like, if someone, was being rude to me, I feel like people experience this stuff every day, and to have even a following, you should, I don't know, be posting things that are inspirational, not stuff that people are just going to see and be like, oh, that's not cool. I don't know. I just feel like there was no real message behind what I was doing. I was just venting and taking advantage of the fact that people were following me and listening to.
So you kind of started a channel, but you didn't, all you knew is that you wanted to start a YouTube channel. You weren't sure exactly what you wanted to do, it sounds like, but you just had some thoughts and feelings that you wanted to share, and people were interested in what you had to say. So these factors all kind of came together and you just started posting content. What were some of the, do you remember any of the early, I mean, you kind of mentioned like talking about getting negative attention from guys and things like that, or what else did you sort of talk about early on?
On my YouTube channel?
Sure.
I remember I made some story time videos. My first video to ever hit 100,000 views was called my stalker story time. So that was one thing that I would kind of vent about on the internet. Was I was working at this grocery store, and I ended up having a guy who was kind of like became obsessed with me, and so I made that story and I put it online, and yeah, that video got.
What kind of things did he do? Just come to the store every day?
Yeah, he came to the he came to the store every day. He somehow got my phone number. I still don't know how he got my phone
Your
number.
cell phone number?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and he would call and, try and figure out when I was working. And then like, he knew that sometimes I was the only front end person at night, and would like follow me around the store, and it was not good. He ended up getting banned from the store. So
wow.
That was good.
Wow. You got to go to the store like once every, how often should he have gone to the store? What's the right amount of times?
Just go. I mean, just go when you need to, and don't be weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was because there were regulars. It was kind of the store was an old store, and some people would go every day to get their favorite lunch or whatever. And, that's fine. But if you're going every day and you're like harassing people or following people, it's like,
yeah, he sounds like he's probably has some problems, this guy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's gonna be on next week. He's next week's guest.
Woo. Figure out his problems.
Who's he's inspired by? Who's a famous I'm trying to think of a famous stalker. Well, I'll get back to that. Anyway,
maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, okay, so you're doing the YouTube thing, and you get through community college. Did you transfer to another school, or did you just keep working? Where did we go from there?
I did not. Much to my dad wanted me to continue with college. But at the end of my community college life, I had a few credits that I needed to fill, and my guidance counselor was like, there's this acting class that's opened up at it's kind of at the time that you want, and it would cover your credits. And I was like, okay, perfect.
And that would be your finish college. Mm-hmm. So you were able to take acting classes to finish college. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How awesome is that?
I know, right?
And was performing at this point something that you were interested, like theatrical performing, or for film or television kind of thing, something you were interested in at that point?
No, I didn't think that I could do it. I remember when I was very young, I had an interest in it, and I remember asking we were watching Harry Potter, and I asked my grandma, I was like, how do these people get to be in Harry Potter? And she was like, oh, I don't know. I think they find you. And so I was kind of hoping.
Oh no, your grandma doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that like when I was a kid, I had this hope that maybe someone would come up to me and be like, oh, I want you like to be in Harry Potter or something. But anyway, so I had that small interest when I was very young. And then this opportunity came up in community college. And I was like, okay, I'll take acting class. I didn't have a huge interest in it, but I was excited about it. And I remember I just started doing it, and it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I still didn't have a lot of confidence in myself, and I didn't really think that it was something I wanted to pursue. And then my acting teacher at the time, he was like, hey, we have a play that's going to be put on next month. I think you're really talented. Like, I'd like to put you in the play, and you wouldn't have to audition. And I was like, okay, cool. I've never memorized lines in my life, but let's do this. And so the first few rehearsals, I had one line, and I was a butler, and I was like, okay, this is really boring. And then so he could see that I wasn't really that engaged in the rehearsals, and so he gave me and one other girl a scene that was really long, like had monologues and just tons of lines, and I was like, yo,
you gave me too much. Why has it got to be all or nothing?
Yeah, so I was like, I'm not sure if I can do this. And he was like, I think you can. Just practice this
1/4 mile at a time. Just once around the track at a time.
And so ended up, I still have stage fright kind of, but I remember the first day that the play was open, I got on the stage and I just did it, and I forgot the audience was there. I forgot about everything. I was just doing it, and I was like, whoa, that was legit. I want to do acting now.
How do you forget the audience is there if they're right in front of you and you're looking at them?
I mean, well,
you're not thinking about them is what you mean.
Yes, I just was so into it. I felt, I don't know, I really wasn't that nervous. And I mean, I guess, you know how the lights shine in your face on the stage and you can't really see
It's harder
them?
to see people, yeah.
Yeah, so it was awesome. And then from then I was like, wow, I think acting is something that I want to pursue.
That's awesome. So now you're thinking about acting and you got the YouTube channel going.
Mm-hmm.
Where was the YouTube channel at this point when you started to get a little bit more interested in acting? Were you starting to develop, what you wanted your channel to be?
Yeah, I think I really figured out what I wanted my channel to be maybe a couple years ago. But
did this person have an influence on your channel at all that I'm holding up this Wikipedia page for?
Maybe a little bit. I think she just really, well, you guys can't
Anna
see. Anna Akana, yes. She just really inspired me because she also is a YouTuber and also acting, and I think she produces her own things as well. But
she does a lot of things. I can see it from what I see. Yeah,
I've watched her since, I think she's been on YouTube for like 8 years or 7 years or something.
I told you I saw her videos. She used to do this with another comedian where they would do these like 10-second like trauma videos where it'd just be some like funny, awkward, slice of life moment, that was really relatable, and they were funny. That's kind of like when I first heard of her, and that was like years ago. So she's been at it for quite some time. But you were telling me about her inspiration, or your inspiration.
Yeah,
how she inspired you.
I mean, one thing with being so I'm half Taiwanese, half white European. My mom is from Taiwan. My dad grew up in the US, but my grandparents are from Croatia on his side. And so to see someone that is Asian American and just killing it is very inspiring, especially when you're very young, because I feel like, I mean, it's not really talked about a huge amount, but growing up and not seeing a lot of people that look like you that are famous or successful, or, I mean, not that, it's fame that matters, but, someone that's successful or on TV or in commercials or whatever, I don't know, it just feels weird.
And I mean, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but does it mess with you? Does it kind of like sort of subtly imply that like you're not worthy, or that you're less, or that you're not part of the culture, the conversation in a sense? Like,
I remember just when I was very young, I remember I was so jealous. My dad has green eyes, and I was like, I want to have green eyes, and I want blonde hair, and I just want to be like the girls that I feel like are so beautiful, that are on TV, that are in my school. Like, I don't know. So it's just really inspiring to see someone that, looks like me. And also, she is an amazing person and has amazing, inspiring content. But yeah, and I remember I didn't mention this with you, but the YouTuber Michelle Phan, she's recently kind of made a comeback. But I remember when I was first going through puberty and feeling just really ugly in my own skin, I had gotten glasses, and I remember I logged onto YouTube and saw that she had made a makeup tutorial for glasses. And for some reason, it just like touched me so much, because I had felt so just ugly in my glasses, and to see her just rocking them and showing girls like how to feel beautiful in their own skin was, I don't know, it was just nice to see.
And then did that inspire you to want to put out more sort of positive, helpful content?
Yeah, definitely.
Yourself? What were some of the Anna Akana videos that you recall, like maybe early on, or specific things that you saw of hers that you're like, oh, I love her?
Oh my gosh.
I know she did a lot of different like sketch things and things that she wrote as well. But she shares her life too pretty openly.
Yeah.
If I'm aware. Correct.
I can't remember. There's one specific video where she talks. It's kind of a controversial video of hers, but where she talks about different ways that guys will approach Asian women sometimes.
Yeah.
Like their pickup lines and just weird things that
Sure.
they will say. And I remember that video, I think, just made me really love her because it was just so relatable and it was just really hilarious. And she wasn't afraid to be controversial and say things that would make a lot of people angry.
Yeah.
Which I always appreciate when someone can just be themselves and not give a crap. And
I feel like if you're trying to please everyone or you want everyone to like you, you're probably not being authentic.
oh yeah.
Because it's impossible to have everyone like you.
yeah.
So then what about your channel? What kind of stuff did you start to get into from there?
So I decided to go vegan while I was kind of starting out my YouTube channel, and I started posting more vegan related content.
What inspired going vegan? Were you already a vegetarian at that point?
I was actually vegetarian kind of by a dare from one of my friends, Stella, but
You made a life choice based on a dare.
kind of. So we were talking, I was like, oh, I can maybe give up meat for 1 month, but that's it. And she was like, okay, like try it out. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I ended up just staying vegetarian, and then I was vegetarian for a year. And then I watched the documentary Cowspiracy, and I was like, okay, this is intense. I think I'm going to go vegan now. So I just kind of shared that journey on the internet, and I started, to gather a following of people who were also vegan and just interested in that, or even people that aren't vegan but are just kind of interested in that kind of content.
I kind of starting to become more interested in it. Not that I'm going to become a vegetarian or vegan, but like I do eat meat almost like every day, and I like would probably be good for me to like not eat meat every day, like just to have that break. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I think
like especially as like humans grow older, I think we're supposed to just naturally not eat as much meat and just eat more vegetables and things. Whether you're a vegan, vegetarian or not, we're all supposed to eat more vegetables.
I need to eat more vegetables. I am such a bad vegan. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I've seen I've seen some of your videos, and it's not when people think of vegan vegetarian, it's like, oh, that means all I do is eat vegetables and tofu and soy. But it's like, then I watch your videos, it's like, yo, these potato chips are vegan.
Oh my god, that is me though. Like it's kind of a joke between
things you don't know are vegan that are vegan.
Yeah, it's like a joke between me and my audience sometimes that like my diet is just so not what you would think a vegan would eat. I don't know. I mean,
the unhealthy vegan.
It's not really a good example, but I think it's relatable to a lot of people that follow me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you got the vegan stuff going. What else do we got?
I guess we talk about my other channels. So I have an ASMR channel, and if you guys don't know what ASMR is, basically it stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, or autonomous, I'm not sure. And it's the term used to describe the tingly feeling that you get when you're very relaxed. Have you ever experienced?
I don't experience. I get goosebumps from music sometimes or from experiences, but like I do know about ASMR, ASMR. Yeah, I do. I am familiar with it, but not personally.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sad for people that don't get it when they watch the videos, because it's like the best feeling ever.
There are some sounds that I do really like that I'm noticing, like certain like tapping sounds on certain things. I do like, but I don't think to the degree that. But I guess we'll get into the ASMR, but I guess what percentage of the population actually has this? Because there must be enough people, because these videos get huge amount of views.
I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like when I ask people if they experience it, it's about half say yes and half say no. So that's just my statistic.
That's pretty high.
Yeah.
Maybe some people like even just like I said, I sometimes enjoy the sound. So maybe just people like watch it if they find it soothing, even if they don't have that like high level tingly feeling, they still find it enjoyable.
So I do get comments like that say, oh, I don't get ASMR, but I just like the sound of your voice. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool.
I'm assuming you have ASMR?
I do. I love it so much. I remember I first discovered it from actually Michelle Phan's makeup tutorials. I was like, oh my gosh, why do I love her voice so much? And I just kept watching them and like just feeling really relaxed. And then I discovered the category of ASMR. I think my sophomore year of high school, I was just looking for music to study to, like, just some chill beats or something. And I came across this guy. He was like just this bald guy, and he was like 10 hours of ASMR for study help. And I was like, cool. That sounds cool.
But you didn't really know what it was at this point? Or
no,
did you?
I just thought it was,
yeah,
I was like, what is this? This is so weird. And so I clicked on it, and I think he had these wooden blocks and was like tapping them next to a mic. And at first I was like, this is so weird. And then I was like, wow, this is the best video ever, because I was just getting really relaxed.
You were relaxed and you were able to focus on your studying?
I don't remember if I was. I probably was, but yeah, it was that was how I discovered ASMR.
So when you tell me more about the ASMR.
Okay,
so
okay.
like if you decide I want to take the time to like listen or watch someone, do you watch your own videos?
No, I hate my own videos.
So if you want to have an ASMR experience, just for lack of a better term, you will not pop on one of your own videos.
No, oh my god, no.
But you'll pop on another
Yes.
another person. And how long does this sort of session last? And walk me through it.
Okay, so let's
Because I'm very interested in this.
I usually listen to them before bed. Like instead of so sometimes before bed I'll just go through YouTube, and it kind of helps me avoid watching negative things that will give me bad dreams. So for example, sometimes I just want to watch, drama videos about YouTube stuff that's going on, but those always just kind of put me in like a weird headspace, I guess. So I'll put on an ASMR video, and yeah, they help me sleep sometimes, help me get into like a relaxed zone.
So you don't meditate. This is your meditation.
I meditate sometimes now, but not that often. Maybe like once a month, which
is just, I mean, when you say I meditate, it's just kind of like breathing, just like breathing exercises, with your eyes closed, kind of like stuff like that.
Yeah, not anything too. Or I'll put on a guided. Actually, I have a weird story about a guided meditation, but
sure.
I don't know. You want me to say it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. But a long time ago, I think a couple years ago in my first apartment, I couldn't sleep. So I was like, let's just go down the YouTube hole again. And I was looking through guided meditations, and there was a guided meditation to meet your spirit guide. And I was like, okay, that sounds really cool. So I clicked on it, and I was, doing the meditation, as you go through the breathing and the envisioning a light going up your body or whatever. And it was kind of boring. I ended up falling asleep during it, but I had this really interesting dream. So I don't know if you're someone that really believes in dreams or coincidences, or
I think the answer would be yes and no.
Yeah. So
sometimes.
I pay attention to my dreams a lot, because I feel like I've always been kind of an intuitive person with my dreams.
Are you a lucid dreamer where you can control your dreams at all?
Sometimes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sometimes I know when I'm dreaming. But usually I just feel like I'm watching a TV, basically. But so I had a dream in the music room of my old elementary school. The last time I had a dream in that setting, I was talking to my grandmother after she had passed away. And so it was weird to see this setting again in a dream.
And this was like a decade. This is a while. This is a long time after you left this elementary school.
Yeah.
This dream was somewhat recent, in the last few years or something like that.
Yeah,
you
like
mean?
2 years ago.
Okay.
And so I in this dream, this man was sitting in a chair, and he told me that he was my great grandfather, and that he was someone who watched over me. And he was showing me different scenarios. Like, he was showing me a scenario where I was like walking home alone in Hollywood, and he was showing me, he was like, I was watching you here. I knew you were really, like, just weird.
He was showing you things that happened in your real life. Whoa.
Yeah, and was like, I was watching you here. I knew you were really scared, and just saying, I'm watching you. I'm your spirit guide. It was really weird. And then I woke up, and I was like, wow, that was intense.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you always remember your dreams when you wake up? Do you write them down?
I do write them down. I remember a lot of them, and I think I've gotten better at remembering them because I write them down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. There sometimes I've had dreams that are really weird or have a lot of coincidences, or where I dream, like if my friend is having a problem, sometimes I will dream about it and I wake up the next day and I'm just like completely exhausted, as if I've lived like a whole day in my dream.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I sometimes have that where I wake up and I'm exhausted from a intense dream, but it doesn't keep me exhausted. What kind do you have repeat dreams? Do you have recurring dreams?
I think my recurring dreams are just kind of dumb. I have one recurring dream that my teeth are all falling out.
That's common. I have that. I don't have that often. Those are stress dreams.
Yeah. So just, anxiousness.
Yeah.
Like I have, dreams about exes or whatever, where I like tell them something I wanted to tell them in real life. That I'm about to tell them, but then...
Yeah, I always think of I always think of the right thing to say after the fact.
Yep.
And you leave the conversation. I wish I would have said, I have a great comeback. I have a great response in my dreams, literally. Yeah, I have one reoccurring good dream that I have is that I can kind of like fly.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, where I can either like kind of like jump high and float and kind of like float down almost like a parachute, or just literally I can kind of like fly like over crowds. Sometimes I'm just like 15, 20 feet and I'm like flying over them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's my second favorite kind of dream.
Yeah, flying dream. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into any.
But yeah,
anything else?
I have dreams where I can like kind of flap my wings.
Yeah.
Very fun.
We all want to be birds. I think is what it comes down to.
I think so. Yeah.
Bastards can fly.
I know.
We're so much smarter than birds. Our brains are so much bigger. We can like build buildings and play sports and saxophones, but they get to fly.
Yeah, we haven't even invented any wings yet that actually work.
Yeah.
I think someone tried to. There was like a fake video of this guy in a park like flying with wings.
Yeah, why can't people fly with wings, or why don't we have flying cars? What's taking so long?
I know.
We're not going to have flying cars. We're going to have automated cars. That's what's coming next anyway. So we got the ASMR, we got the vegan stuff. What else are we working on the channel?
I do have a vlog channel. Can I swear on the podcast?
No, of course. I encourage you. Swear more.
I call it my fuck shit channel.
Whoa. It's a separate channel?
It's just called Sonia's Vlogs, and it's literally just, chill vlogs in my life that I don't feel like are good enough to post on my main channel, because I feel like for my main channel I have to care more about what I put out, because I do, have brand
sponsors, yeah.
So I can't just like have, for example, on my main channel I have to care more about my views, because, it's how much I can charge a brand for a sponsorship. But on my vlog channel, I can just kind of post something that maybe it's not going to get a lot of views, but it's something that I enjoyed filming, and that, people that really enjoy me and hearing what I have to say, regardless of clickbait or cool thumbnails or whatever, will watch. So
that's cool. You ever get any pushback from any of the sponsors or brands that you've worked with about any of the content you put out there? Like, how could you say that? That doesn't go with our brand or whatever.
No,
that you can talk about.
Yeah, I think most of my sponsors are really cool. There are a lot of like, some vegan companies, some, I don't know. I've worked with, I worked with Audible one time, and that was cool. Like everybody seems to enjoy my content, and because I'm not really crazy on I'll open up and I'll talk about things, but I'm not someone that's really too controversial or too inappropriate. So
so it sounds like you have like a good sense of like who you are and what you want to create.
I guess maybe.
Maybe.
And sometimes I feel like my life is together and I have all my thoughts together, and then sometimes I feel like I don't even know what I'm doing. And then
I don't think that's just you though.
Yeah, I think that's everybody a little bit.
Where do you see your channel going? Like, is there what type of content would you want to be produced down the line that you're not producing, or like in the future? Like, where would you like to go with it?
I would love to make, those videos where people explore like abandoned, scary places. Yeah. I would love to make more content like that. I just don't. It's kind of
like stuff on location. It sounds like
so places. Where I did one time, I explored like an abandoned town in my state, and it was just so much fun. And I think more travel
Yeah,
vlogs
I was
as
gonna.
well.
That's what I was gonna say because you do a lot of stuff kind of in your apartment and like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of vegan stuff and ASMR, which is awesome that you could just. It's so convenient. You can kind of do it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But like traveling and seeing the world and
Yeah, that's what I would love to make that kind of content, but I also feel best when I'm, at home and more grounded and just sticking to my routine. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I tend to be the same way. Like I don't know. I like traveling, but I don't love it as much as other people seem to. I guess I kind of like being at the place more than the traveling. I don't love the
yeah.
traveling, the packing. At airports, it's all stressful. But once you're there, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But even when I'm there, I kind of like. I don't love my routine being interrupted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It feels kind of weird, and then I feel sometimes not productive enough. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's like I there's no gym here. I can't work out today.
Yeah.
Wait, they don't have chicken here. I want to eat chicken. Then I have to eat something else.
Or I have to eat
Wake
out
up
for
at-
every meal, and it's like $15. Like,
Yeah, no, it's no. I like traveling.
I do like my memories of traveling they stick with me all the time, and sometimes they just pop in my head and I'm like, wow, that was amazing. But yeah, I don't know. And also just well, because my channel isn't like a huge channel, like I don't make enough from traveling videos for it to be funding itself,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Get your get vegan butter, whatever, to fund your
Yeah.
trip to the farm.
Yeah, I would need like
The
a
vegan butter
big
farm.
Vegan butter farm where they milk what do they milk the almonds?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they milk the trees.
Yep, they milk the soy,
Yeah.
the tofu.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, it's rough.
And what about the acting?
Oh my gosh.
Is that kind of like your thought is to like have a balance between your YouTube content and acting and theater and TV and film? Is that kind of like that's your life?
Yeah, I don't see myself becoming an actress and like quitting YouTube or something.
Yeah.
I see myself like hopefully doing all of it and just integrating it well. And yeah, I just hope that I'm not doing anything right now on YouTube to jeopardize anything in acting, but just to see, like Anna Akana, how she's doing all of it and is still able to be herself and, voice her opinions and talk about things that are personal. That's really awesome.
I just
That's what
think,
I
yeah,
wanna
it
do.
sounds like a win-win-win situation because I
Yeah.
guess, with acting, you're not always in control of what roles you're going to get and when you're going to get them and what type of roles they're going to be. But with your YouTube channel, you can put out content at your own, convenience whenever you want, whatever you want, and make money from it. And that's awesome.
Yeah. And that's the thing too because you never know if, you could be someone who has a show and then for the next year not get anything, so I don't want to be someone that's only relying on one thing in my life.
Yeah. And I think that's just the economy also we're in right now. It's like tough. And even in the entertainment, like that's the whole landscape is changing. Have you ever met Anna Akana?
I have not.
You have not met.
no.
Have you seen her perform live or anything like that?
I have not. She just
I know
recently,
she does stand up too. I think or has.
Yeah.
Comedian.
But she just recently actually started singing and making music. So, I don't know. Recently started singing,
I think
but recently making music.
Yeah, I know she makes music too. I actually just was on her Instagram page and it said like album dropped or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did notice that.
So that's really cool.
Yo, why you got to be so talented, Anna Akana? Fucking making me feel lazy as shit over here.
Yeah. I always feel like there's more that I could be doing, even though I feel like I'm also doing so much.
That's the thought that's going on in my head like all day long. It's like I'll take a break from something and then or do something. It's like you didn't work on your script today. Why didn't you work on your script? You had time to work on your script. Okay, so you worked on all these other things, but what does that mean? You had time to do this. Why didn't you do that too? You can. What's your excuse? This
Yeah.
goes on all day.
I feel like I'm so busy, but also not doing anything sometimes. And it's just like,
I know what I know what you mean. That makes sense. If you did, this is what I ask a lot of my guests. If you ran into Anna Akana, like on the street or like she's in front of you online at Ralph's, like
my gosh.
what would you say to her there? And then another form of asking the question is like, if you had a chance to like sit down and have lunch, with her, what do you imagine that conversation? So what's the quick interaction like, and what's the long conversation with her like? Do you imagine?
I think quick interaction. First, I would make sure she's not like busy. I don't want to interrupt her in her zone or whatever. But
you guys are all so nice. Every guest says that. They're like, I don't want to bother them. I want to make sure. Everyone's like, so like, Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. But I would probably just tell her really quickly. I would just say, I love your YouTube channel and you're really inspiring. Probably just say that and just let her go about her day.
Makes sense.
Lunch, I would probably talk to her about the video that I was talking to you about, the one where she talks about like ways that guys will fetishize Asian women, I guess, and just tell her like how relatable that was and how nice it was to see that video as
share notes.
Adult.
Share notes from personal experiences.
Oh yeah, we can tell funny stories. But and just I read her book too, so maybe tell her like how well. I actually tweeted her one time after I read the book. It really touched me, so I tweeted at her and she did reply. So
I'm gonna dig that up. I'm gonna dig up that tweet and maybe screen grab it and use it to promote. Gosh. I could do something with that.
Okay. But yeah, she's
getting tagged in all these posts. She's gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?
What is this weird Asian girl on the podcast talking about me?" No, I'm just kidding. But so I don't know. I would talk about that video. Tell her it's really inspiring. She's killing it. And I remember also like going through when I'd go through a breakup or something. I remember I watched a few of her videos where she talked about being single, and it was just nice when you're like crying in your bed to have a reasonable voice in front of you on the internet telling you that everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, I remember she like, I don't like know a lot about it, but I remember like I came across some video like she had an ex or something that was also like a YouTube person that she was like partners with too, and then they had a breakup and she like made a whole like video about it and stuff. It's like crazy how like open some people are about with their lives, but I admire that, to be honest with you. Like, to be like, I'm open, but I'm very careful with what I share. I'll share a lot, but not everything. I
feel like I'm the same way, but I probably share way more than you.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I think a lot.
I've been to your YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think that's what I would say.
Would you ask her for any advice?
Maybe I'd ask her what she would say to her 21-year-old self. Because I think she just turned 30, so she's a little bit older than me. Yeah. Just to hear that advice. And maybe I'd ask her.
That makes sense. That's actually a really good question. I should ask some older person for advice. For people my age.
Yeah.
Always ask an older person for advice. What would you tell the person that's my age? Yeah, that's genius.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. And I don't know. I never want to come across as someone that's like being usy, though. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, no, of course.
Like, oh, I don't know. There's things I want to figure out in my own life that I don't want to ask people for advice, but just I think that general question would be
I think you'd probably just sitting down with someone who has that much life experience and experience doing things that you are doing and want to be doing and this and that. I think just the conversation would yield a lot of good points and ideas and thoughts and things that will be helpful moving forward. And that's how it's been for me with like talking to all of you guys. Like, like you guys telling me about like all the people who inspire you, but like I'm inspired by you guys and the people that like you guys are talking about. So that's
awesome.
It's been a trip for sure.
That's really cool.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your time for sure. Why don't you tell me how people can find you and what you're working on these days? Plug whatever you want. The floor is yours. Do your thing. Anything else you want to talk about that we didn't cover?
Okay. I guess where you can find me, my YouTube channel is Sonia Elsie. It's spelled Elsie. People think it's L and then C, letter L and C, but no. And then my Instagram is sonia.elsie. What am I working on? I feel like I'm working on YouTube a lot of the time, and yeah, I don't know.
What are the next videos you're gonna? Do you know what the next video is? Do you know what the next 2 videos are gonna be? Do you know what the next 5 videos are gonna be? Do you put notes in your phone for ideas? How does that all?
I do. I know that my next video, it's gonna go up tomorrow. I think it's just gonna be like a mukbang where I eat some avocado rolls and talk about life. And,
Wait, what's an avocado roll?
it's like a.
I know those words, but what are they together?
It's just like sushi.
Oh,
but
okay,
without-
like
yeah,
sushi
not as
roll.
exciting as you probably.
No, that's pretty
imagining.
exciting to me. That's I live for avocado and I live for sushi rolls.
Hell yeah. I know I want to film like a productive day in my life. So where I just kind of go through my routine to stay productive and to get in the work zone. Now I want to work on some fall themed videos. I'm not sure exactly what yet, but I do want to do like a fall, maybe how I style thrifted pieces because I do like thrifting.
Meaning like buying used
Yeah,
clothes, things like that?
like going to thrift stores and finding just styling things.
Cool. Yeah, well, it sounds like you have a lot going on. You're working hard. You got
Thank you.
You like routine.
I kind of
You like
yeah.
you like your routines and you like routine.
Mhm.
You also like challenges,
Yes,
but sometimes they need to come from external. It sounds like someone else needs to push you, whether it's
sometimes.
your dad to run or
Yes.
other things.
So I
But
feel
once you're challenged, once you're what was the dare that you were dared to do? You dared to be vegan, and then
Yes.
and then it's
Yeah.
made it turn into a life choice.
Yes.
So you just need someone else to challenge you. But once you get that challenge,
Mm-hmm.
you're all in.
Yeah, I think I find a lot of. I mean, obviously, I'm inspired, by the people that we talked about, but I find a lot of inspiration just from a lot of my friends as well, and my family. That, yeah, just a lot of inspiration that way. So, because it's more, I don't know, it's more personal, it's more close. Instead of looking at someone on the internet and seeing what they're doing, it's a lot of the times just as inspiring to have a friend encourage you or family member do something amazing as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was even talking about like this with some, I don't even remember what guest, but just like one person saying one encouraging thing
Mhm.
can really change the direction of someone's life. Like all these comedians who like, they try comedy for the first time. They're like, it went all right. And then like one person will say, oh, you were really good. You should keep going. I have a show next week. Come on my show. And then they practice and they do that show. And then it's like, boom, you're doing it. That's your life. And it's interesting how
Things
these
can
twists and turns and zigs and zags and life.
like if my first acting teacher didn't put me in the play and give me like all of those
Exactly.
lines, I don't even know what I would be doing right now.
No one makes it alone. But again, I appreciate your time. Thank you for stopping by.
you.
Sonia Elsie, find her on Instagram, find her YouTube channel.
Hell yeah.
ASMR, vegan, the whole thing.
Yup.
Thanks again.
Thank
We'll
you for
talk
having
soon.
me.
Oh, you got it.
Bye.
So there you have it. My conversation with Sonia Elsie. I don't know. What do you guys think? Did she steal that pencil as a kid or not? Should we believe her? For real, that was a lot of fun, and I really do appreciate Sonia taking the time to talk to me. Anyway, for everything about this show, of course, head to peoplewelovepodcast.com. And I think that's about all I got for today. I appreciate you guys listening as always. And thank you. And let's talk soon. Peace.